Nice. I'm gonna mute there. Your coffee coming along? So the sound is doubling up. I guess try like cutting one of the two sources.
Yo, what up everyone? Let me quickly check the sound. Am I live? Is this live? Can you hear this, Mom? Yeah, sounds like it. Hey everyone. There's echo? There's echo? Oh no, it's probably my my shitty phone. I should probably turn on the volume a little bit. Okay, speaks. Okay, yeah.
Julian, how's my...
Okay, yeah, can everyone hear Max? Julian? You're the tech man, you...
Yeah.
It does sound okay to me. Max, keep talking.
Keep talking.
Sweet, okay.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's not 6 a.m. for me, so...
Yeah, awesome. Okay, sounds good. It's fine. Alright, okay. Nice. We're live. Okay. Hey. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It's your boy Kai Sawatari, aka Sawatarix at Magic Online. And today I have a super special guest. Maxtortion for the first time here at the MTG&LIFE podcast on Twitch. Max, how's it going, dude?
It's going great. Thanks so much for having me on. This is really exciting. And thanks for accommodating schedules. I know it's really early for you there in Tokyo.
Dude, I mean, yeah, kind of. It's like, it's a casual 5 a.m. podcast. No big deal. I had my last beer 5 hours ago, and I set my alarm like at 4 a.m. and I was like, wow, like when was the last time I actually set my alarm at like 4 a.m. and it was crazy, right? It was probably like 5-6 years ago when I used to work in this like hotel, which I really didn't like, and people also don't know about that, but like I used to work in this like kind of like luxury hotel like back in the day, and like just it didn't fit me at all. But I did it, yeah, I did it for like a year or two, and it was a horrible experience. Gotta say that.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, dude.
Sounds like a pretty miserable schedule too.
Totally, cause like, I mean, you gotta be awake before all the guests. All right, like, cause you gotta prepare everything. It was bad. Okay, let's not even talk about the hotel. It's it kind of brings back like bad memories.
Yeah, let's talk about happier things. Like,
oh yeah.
Fortunately for me, it's 1:30 p.m. so I have a nice AleSmith Limeberry twist, a nice sour goes. It's really nice afternoon weekend beer.
Oh, sick! Is that your go-to drink?
I'm all over the place these days. With regard to drinks, I love sour beer, but I'm also like, IPA fan. I like a lot of the seltzers that they're making now, like the hard seltzers. All sorts of good flavors there. A couple local breweries do like a really good one. There's a lavender lemonade made by a local brewery that I go out of my way to get. It's fantastic. And I also like drinking bourbon. So, just change it up.
Whiskey person. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like these days like IPAs are kind of like all over the place. Right? That's crazy.
Yeah, they are.
That's crazy because like you get a huge selection on IPAs also in Tokyo, but like maybe for like 2 or 3 years really, like IPA has not been a thing in Japan because like IPAs, like how they taste, it doesn't match Japanese food all that well. Does it make sense? Right? Like I mean,
yeah.
like imagine if you have like a pack of like sushi rolls and then you have like an IPA. Just it's like orange juice and fucking toothpaste or something like that. It just doesn't fit. So
yeah, you need a lager. You need a lager for Japanese food.
Oh, definitely. I mean, so what do you usually eat when drinking IPA? And may I ask that question? Because I have no idea.
That's a fair question. Kind of all over the place. Just like food we make at home here, or just like what you'll imagine American food to be, like between like burgers, sandwiches, meat, bread, and potatoes. That sort of mix goes really well with an IPA.
Oh, potatoes, yeah.
Potatoes. Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I mean, who isn't? Who really isn't? But
good too.
Oh my gosh. So thank you for everyone in the chat already, man. Marcus, how's it going? Julian also in the chat. Zack and Flames, damn, thank you so much guys for sticking around. So this is the second time I'm doing this. This is not a regular podcast that you can listen to on Spotify, but we are doing this on Twitch instead. And I thought, it'd be kind of cool to have our faces also on top. And today we're gonna also try out a couple new things, which I'm super excited about. We're gonna have a truth or false section where each of us we prepared three statements, and some of them are correct, some of them are false. So we gotta do that. And in just a second, we are also gonna have a second overlay where we also screen share if necessary, and it's all gonna happen very soon. So as always, why don't we start with a quick introduction where so Max, maybe you want to talk to people and tell them about your how they can reach you, like Twitter and things like that, just really quickly.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm Max. I'm a legacy player based in Southern California. Pretty much you can reach me on Twitter is the best way to do it. I'm on that website way too much, at Maxtortion. And then the site that Min Hawk and I run is Min Max blog. So we post articles, we post videos there, and we also host some guest articles, friends who want to write something and need a place to put it. And so really the best place to reach me is Twitter, and best place to find my content is Min Max blog.
Oh, sweet. Okay. We're gonna talk about the Min-Max blog on also one of the questions, because we got a question about your blog, and I gotta be honest, I've heard of it, but I also I don't really know what it is. So maybe you wanna talk about that, and when it comes to the question.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I've heard like a billion times already on Twitter, and like every time I'm like, it sounds cool, but I have absolutely no idea what it is, but it sounds cool. Okay.
So yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm excited to get to it when that question pops up.
Okay, sounds good. Then the next would be where do you normally play Magic? So that's kind of like a wide open question. I would say like Magic Online and paper maybe, if there's like a go-to place for you.
Yeah. So the place I normally play most of the time, especially during COVID, on Magic Online, grinding leagues whenever I can, and then for paper Magic, which fortunately has come back here for a couple months now, I play at a shop called Spellhold Games in Orange. It's a really great shop full of good people, really good players, decked out decks. It kind of I've heard you talk about the like the Tokyo scene, and while it's not quite that size, we get like 20 to 30 players on Tuesday night weeklies, sanctioned, like non-proxy. So these are really invested players that we get, and it's a great crowd, good players, good hangouts.
Oh, sick. Okay. I mean, 20 to 30 is not shabby at all, right? I remember like back in the day when I lived in Berlin, we didn't have quite the crowd. Like it was more like between 15 and 25, so yeah. But it made almost everyone switch their decks every week, so that you don't play like the same Death and Tax. Like the Death and Taxes player also had Eldrazi, for example, as a backup deck, or like some other Chalice deck. Usually like, you know, in the same category, but like people mix up their decks more often, I feel. Whereas, you know, like the bigger the scene, like the bigger the city, the more you can just simply grind your exact same 75. I feel like, do you feel the same, or?
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, for myself, I switch it up between like, you know, fair blue decks and Doomsday mostly. Then even within Doomsday, I'll like switch out like the Uro version versus like a more turbo build. The past several weeks, I've been just kind of on a hot streak with the Jeskai Ragavan Saga deck, so I haven't changed that out because I think I'm undefeated 3 weeks in a row now, so I've just kind of been
holy damn,
really just on a hot streak with that deck. So
keep
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
keep it going. Holy shit.
But yeah, people switch out. There's an Elves player who also plays the, you know, like Tainted Pact combo as a backup deck there. Sure. People have a great depth.
Wait, are you talking about the about that crazy deck? Was it Monkeys Can't Cry build? I was talking about that EDH. Like, holy shit! Like, what a sicko, really. Like, I looked at this deck. It's like, dude, there's like no way this deck can ever win a single round. I just thought that it's gonna lose like to itself like all the freaking time, and then like. and he posted a 5-0. It's like, dude, like what? like freaking like Serum Visions and things. Holy shit! I mean, damn. Yeah.
Serum Visions is probably one of the weaker cards in the deck, but you know the rest of the cards, you know, there's been so many good cards printed that you can just kind of throw them all together and you have a decent shell.
Okay. Well. Oh, Julian. By the way, can you also see the chat, Max?
Yes, I can.
Oh, sweet. Okay, because like Julian, like I think there was one or two, I think only one time when Julian visited us in Berlin, like a couple of years ago, and with couple I mean like almost like 10 years ago. There was a like super small store in Berlin called Hotbox, which is like a basketball card game store to some extent, and we had like a 8-man legacy. Back in the day. It was not huge, but it was Julian, and there was also JPA, because JPA lives in Berlin, and it was like I was also there, and like it was back in the day when JPA was really not that good in Legacy. I remember that much. Like, I mean, I was also a newbie. I must have played either Storm or Canadian Threshold with Nimble Mongoose back in the day. And JPA was on Sneak and Show, maybe. His second deck was Esper. No, it was Esper Deathblade or whatever the deck was called. Yeah,
that was a good deck.
Oh, see, yeah, I do. Oh, wow, I played Canadian. Yeah, dude, I didn't know what I was doing. Dude, I did weird things like attacking with a 1/1 Nimble Mongoose into your Snapcaster and like things like that. I did a lot of stupid shit, dude. Holy shit. Yeah, no,
sounds like fun times, simpler times, right?
Yeah,
back
like
when Nimble Mongoose was the premier threat because it was basically only answerable by Terminus.
Right, I mean, I hope Terminus was already printed back in the day, but like there was like not a lot of things you should worry about, really. And but the cards Show and Tell and Sneak Attack, they seemed so broken because everything else in the format was not that powerful. Like the most powerful thing in Legacy probably was Past in Flames and Jace the Mind Sculptor and Natural Order. Like these cards were like, you know, up there. But like all the rest was kind of like, yeah, you know, I don't care. And yeah, can play a creature. I don't care. That kind of deal. Like, whereas like these days, it's kind of like, you know, like bomb after bomb. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at like a Sneak and Show deck, like even the ones that are placing now, they really haven't changed much. You've got like you got your show and tells, you got your sneak attacks, you've got your cantrips that haven't changed in forever. You've got Daze, which has been around forever. You've got Simian Spirit Guide, and you've got the fatties, and the most recent one is Grizzlebrand.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what I remember is that I remember that JPA, like again, like, you know, like 8, 9, 10 years or whatever ago, he didn't play Dazes first of all, but he played a Misdirection main. Holy damn, I remember that because he got me so good with Misdirection the other day. I mean, the other year. And it was a time when people slammed him to Torque like like there was no tomorrow, really. So
but very, very heartbreaking story about someone. I was playing a duel for duels. It was a 40 duels tournament in LA, and in my win-in, I was playing Delver against Sneak and Show, and I had my opponent dead. I attacked with the Delver. They had nothing, and I was just like, okay, you're at 3 Boltchew, and his last card was a Misdirection.
Oh no, holy!
And he bolted my Delver, and I proceeded to lose the game and miss out. So yeah, and he was copying JPA's list, so I am very aware of that Misdirection.
Oh my gosh, that's like didn't people not only play Misdirection but also Divert? I feel like people did, right?
People started to play Divert in it was right after the Treasure Cruise Dig Through Time era. There was a lot of targeted discard there, and Divert and True Name was really, really powerful too. And Divert was one of the best ways to answer True Name without like dedicated hate cards for it, because you could divert their removal spell to their True Name.
Oh, gotcha. Because I thought that Divert was mainly because of Abrupt Decay and how you couldn't counter Abrupt Decay, but maybe that was
right.
Like later.
That's true. You can divert your opponent's Abrupt Decay to their own True Name.
Right. That was at least because like I tried the card out only once. And that was my intention, right? Like to get those Buck Delvet players and like, you know, like gonna decay your Tarmogoyf then. But I didn't get paired against Buck, and what I ended up doing is like, you know, having this useless Divert in matchups like against Elves, for example, where it didn't do anything and like things like that, and I kicked it immediately afterwards. So my playing experience with Divert is kind of limited.
Yep. I had the same experience.
Oh, yeah.
I still have my Divert.
Oh, you still have them? Holy damn.
Yeah. I mean, they're sitting in the binder collecting dust. But yep,
I mean,
I've got them from that time.
Right? I mean, like that card is a rare, right?
It's a rare.
Holy damn, dude! Like cards have changed. Holy, like if you would have printed this card now, it would probably be like an uncommon, maybe.
Mm-hmm. I think it would be an uncommon from a regular set, and like a common if it were like a Modern Horizons 3.
Yeah, people would skip that card like, you know, just without even looking at it.
Yeah. Mega Man's Deflection.
Holy shit. I mean, what does that do? It's probably for free. No, it's probably for free, or like some weird Phyrexian mana, maybe, like, you know, it's gonna pay 1 life and your opponent's gonna probably like pay like 5 mana in the addition, things like that. Yeah. Holy damn.
I mean, with rare exception, counter magic is the one thing that they're generally trying not to make better. So,
right.
Maybe it'd still be how it's printed.
No, you're
but
right.
Maybe it would probably have a modality. It would be like redirect unless they pay 2, or it would have like the Force Spike effect as well, or like choose one, divert or Force Spike.
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like
they would do that.
Yeah, like Wizards, they love those, like, you know, multiple options, choose 1, choose 2 kind of type of cards. Like I think we saw like way too many of them, and it's mainly because maybe like people love those like charms from like back in the day, from like Invasion, for example, where you could like, you know, pick your thing, or like even down the even later there were like things like Vision Charm in Visions, I think, or like Piracy Charm in what is it called, Planar Chaos, like things like that. I think people like that sort of deal. Like Archmage's Charm was still, I think, playable in Modern, things like that. I think it's good.
Yeah. People love the modality. Also, a big reason they started printing all those effects was because of MTG Arena and the most played game mode being Best of 1 Magic, and so they wanted people to be able to include these cards that could like kind of have a narrow answer. Like imagine a Braid. destroy target artifact or deal 3 to target creature. Like either one of those effects isn't playable on a main deck card, but in Best of One Magic, you could put an Abrade in your main deck, answer a vehicle if it gets played, but also just have a, you know, not super good creature removal spell if they're not playing artifacts. Hey, Flojo, my MTGO nickname is Maxtortion.
Yeah, it's the same as his Twitter. I think we might have played on Magic Online like maybe like once or twice, but I think only once or twice only. I don't think I've played against you very often.
No, yeah, we haven't played that much, which is funny because I actually play against a lot of Japanese players, given the time that I play, which is I usually play around 7:30 Pacific time, when like my kid's down for bed, and that's pretty much in the middle of the day in Japan on the next day. So.
Oh yeah, okay. And oh yeah, and the password. Yeah, maybe you can type in the password. You know what, Julian?
The password is Julian is great 23.
I was gonna say like I'm gonna add the password to the title of the YouTube video later. Okay. Anyway. So what are your other hobbies, Max? What do you usually do when you don't play Magic? Because people don't know that.
Yeah. So I guess these days the hobby that I do that takes up most of my time is parenting. I have a 3.5-year-old and a 16-month-old. So a lot of that when I'm not playing Magic. I also play some music, but you can see good guitars in the background. But I also I can combine those. You know, sometimes I play guitar for the kids. They love to dance and sing along.
Okay.
My 3-year-old's really into music, which is great. He has a nice voice.
Oh no, awesome. Okay, because I thought that usually what like kids hate what the parents do, like for like as a principal. Because I hated everything my dad did. Like and like my dad was really into sports, and I was like, oh, there's no way I'm gonna do sports. I mean, you know, now I'm doing sports too, but like, yeah, I guess okay, it doesn't matter. Yeah. How long have you been playing the guitars? That's kind of like a crazy collection. Can you see that in the back chat? I see like at least 3 guitars.
Yeah, and those are my 3 electric guitars. I have 2 acoustics around here as well, and I play those more than the electrics, which are basically wall art at this point. I've been playing guitar for about 20 years.
Damn. So, okay.
A little while.
Okay, so have you been on stage very often, or like do you only play like for yourself, or?
I played in some high school rock bands. I played in the high school jazz band as well on guitar. So a bit of both in there. Basically, I did a little bit of like, you know, acoustic coffee shop performances in late high school and early college.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was never something I like pursued very seriously. Yeah.
Okay.
I do get Baby Shark requests, or I used to get a lot more of them, but fortunately, or I guess for better or worse, depending upon where you stand, my older one is grown out of Baby Shark, and my little one is not yet into Baby Shark.
Not yet. That's crazy. I wonder, like maybe one day we can put together like a MTG Legacy band, because like I've been playing a lot of music to it. For me, it's the electric violin. And so all we need is
cool.
Yeah, maybe the chat can figure out how we can get a drummer, and what else do we need? A bassist maybe. Some synths.
Well, Callum can play bass.
Oh, Callum's a bass player? I thought he was.
Yeah.
Oh wow, and like for the longest time I thought that he was on vocals, but he
also does some vocals, but he plays bass, yeah.
But like Callum Smith, like he has like the softest voice ever. So it's like I don't know how that would match, but like you got somewhat of a husky voice. I like that a lot. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, I really like your voice. I mean, all of your like Twitch, we've got a new follower, and all of that. It's very fun.
Dude, yeah. So so back in the day, like when I was 9 or 10, I went to this middle school. It was only boys, and it was focused on music. It was like this music middle school, where every kid they had to play at least one instrument. So I picked violin. I mean, I started violin back in the day when I was like 6 years old. At least one instrument. My second instrument was the piano, but I didn't like it all that much. I used it later to for composing, because it's, you know, because you can play chords and you can't play chords on the violin, right? And you also had to join at least one choir, and that's what I did. And it was a lot of like traditional music, like nothing too fancy, but it was good. And like when I started streaming, I was like, I kind of wanna you know, push like all the skills I have, and it's like, maybe that's a good idea or not, you know. It could be a total failure, but so I don't know.
I love it. I think it adds so much character to your stream, and they're really like nicely done little jingles, so props.
I mean, I think they're kind of goofy, but yeah, thanks.
No, but they're the perfect, like, they're goofy, but they're catchy, and they sound good, and it's like exactly what you want. Like, you nailed it.
Well, okay. Anyway, let's move over to so this part is, I think, the most the newest part, and also the part I was looking for like so much. Is the truth or false section. Let's move over. All right, can everyone see this? Let's maybe let's bump up the text a little more. Maybe this is better. Can you guys see that? It is a truth or false section, and then what we did is you see 3 statements about Koiswatori, and then you see 3 statements about Maxtortion. Okay, and there's gonna be truths. There's gonna be also false statements, and the game is we gotta figure out what's true and what's false. Okay. So we're gonna kick things off. If you know, that is a terrible way of starting this, because I should definitely start with your things first.
Let's start with you.
No. This is not how I go. I mean, you are the guest, so let's start with, yeah, that was terrible. Okay. Anyway, so you're gonna read out your statements, and I gotta start figuring out what's true or not.
Okay, let's get going. I once opened for a now famous rock band.
Okay, so Max opened for a now famous rock band. Like, with famous, like is it like Metallica famous, or is it?
No, not like Metallica famous, but like let's say like they had some songs in like top 40 charts.
Ooh, damn. So, like you already told me that you've been playing the guitar for 20 years, right? So, like, if I imagine, like, if someone is in the music scene for like almost 20 years, that person probably has a lot of connections to other musicians, because I played in so many different bands back in the day, and like whenever we needed a new drummer, like I knew exactly where to ask. And Julian was the Backstreet Boy. Julian, YouTube link or it didn't happen. So you opened for a now famous rock band. That's a tough question, dude.
Everything you just told me makes it a really easy thing to lie about too, right?
Yeah, dude. Like
it could be true.
Dude,
could be true, but
I kind of want to say yes, but like, man,
are you committing to yes?
This is so hard. This is like for a now famous rock. So I'm gonna say yes. Honestly, I gotta be honest. Like, it is very unlikely, because like not a lot of people can say that about themselves. But given that you have 3 guitars in the back, and given that you told me about those like 20 years of like music experience, I kind of want to say I wish you a yes, and I kind of want to say yes. Yeah, so yes, it is.
Yep, it's a yes.
Oh, sweet.
The band is Young the Giant. Back in high school times, they were called the Jakes. But yeah, they've had some pretty big hits. So yeah, check Young the Giant. They're kind of an alternative rock band.
Oh, nice.
They hit pretty good. Less famous now, or I guess less big now than they were like a few years ago.
Okay.
But yeah, some
wow, that's awesome. Like, and so how did it happen? How did it all happen?
The bassist in the band I played was family friends with the lead singer of that band. And so it was back when we were in high school. So that was the connection.
Damn, that's cool. Holy shit. That's insane. Okay, well, nice. Okay, so let's move over to the next one. Max has never played Death in Texas. Holy gosh. You have never played Death in Texas. So, okay. I do think that most people who like playing cards like Dark Ritual and Brainstorms, they detest Thalia. Okay, that I can say from like my own experience, and that I think I can hopefully speak for like 90% of all Dark Ritual fans out there, like be it Storm, Doomsday, or what have you, or like Pox. But like Death and Taxes, dude, I asked a couple of people if they want to watch me play Death and Taxes, and like most people said like hell no, like, you know, like first of all, I'm probably gonna suck at it, and probably I'm gonna hate it myself. And then third is like I'm probably gonna forget putting counters on my vial. So yeah, so I would never play Death and Taxes, and I could like I'm gonna say you, yeah, I'm gonna say yes. I don't think you have never played Death and Taxes. It would blow my mind if you ever played Death and Taxes in your life, and I'm probably gonna unfriend you immediately if you did so. So tell me, what's up? Did you play it?
I played it, but there's a caveat. So the time I played it is several years ago at the LGS. We had all there's a bunch of us who are kind of really knew each other and trusted each other. We all put our decks into the center pool and blindly drew decks to play that week.
Oh wow!
So I ended up picking Death and Taxes, for better or worse, and I did not do well with it.
Okay, so thank you, thank you everyone for watching. That's gonna be the end of the stream, and you're gonna be back with another guest next week. Thank you so much. Holy damn!
But I can redeem myself. The deck I put into the pool was Top Miracles with 4 predicts.
Oh, that's so. Oh man,
that's what I brought for that week. So
damn. I mean, Mark is gonna love that. Holy shit! Yeah.
That was the deck where your win condition was there were 2 Jaces and 4 Snapcasters, and that was it.
Are you serious? No entreat?
Yeah, no entreat.
Oh man, you're a madman.
Most games are won with a few cards in the library, and Snapcaster is attacking for 20.
I mean, the best win is probably also like the opponent's concession, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh man. Oh my gosh. Like now, like imagine if you could now build a deck with only 2 Jaces and 3/4 Snapcasters as your win con. Like it would not work out well.
No, not at all. You would just run. You would deck yourself.
Holy shit. Okay. Let's. And the last statement is Max has had 0 buys at every Grand Prix he has played in. And with every Grand Prix we talking about like Legacy and Modern Standard, and all other formats too.
Yep, the statement is I have never had a buy at a Grand Prix.
So you've
true or false?
So like for getting buys, back in the day the system was to you either need to have a lot of what's it called, like planeswalker, no, how are they called, like
planeswalker points.
Yeah, planeswalker points, exactly. Yeah, you gotta have a shitload of planeswalker points to hit 1 or 2 buys, or you go to a GP trial, right? And you win that GP trial, and then you get like 2 buys. Or you can get last chance buys, I think the day before the GP.
Yeah, if you went 5-0 to last chance, you would get 2 buys.
So we got like 3 options here. So I would.
You didn't even actually need that many planeswalker points to get 1 buy for what it's worth.
Oh really?
Yeah, if you played pretty consistently.
Like 1,000 maybe.
Yeah, it was about 1,000.
About 1,000. Okay, I think this dude, I can't. No, you definitely had some buys, right? I mean, I want to say that's probably a false statement, because if you play Magic on a regular basis, then there's no way you don't hit 1,000 planeswalker points. Maybe I'm gonna say this is false. This is false. This is what I.
It's true. I've actually
seriously? Holy shit.
Yeah. So
holy shit.
Just the way that things have worked out, I've only played in I guess 4 Grand Prix in my life. I haven't played in that many, and the times that I've played in them have been kind of coming off of not playing Magic that much. and I didn't really grind that hard for buys, and so combine those things, and I've never had a buy.
Okay, so have you ever reached day 2 in one of them?
So up until my most recent one, I've day 2'd every single one.
You have wait.
I've played
every
three,
single one without any buys? Are you insane?
So I've played 3 legacy GPs, and I've day 2'd all of them. Actually that's a good story, Julian. So at my first GP, I was 5-0, and then I played round 6 against Eric Froelich, and we were on the feature match. And I was crazy nervous, right? This is my first Grand Prix ever.
Right.
I was playing a 4-color Delver before it caught on.
Mm-hmm.
Like they actually, in the thing, like they misnoted, they called it Bug Delver because they hadn't seen 4-color Delver yet. And then at some point, Marshall Sutcliffe was like, wait a minute, this Bug Delver deck has 4 lightning bolts in it. I ended up playing Ephro and beating him. He was on Ant, Zack and Flames. And then the next round I beat Jacob Wilson in the Delver Mirror. And then I lost to Deathblade, and then the round after that, Jacob Kobe, he and I were sitting at a table together. We'd gone to the GP together and looking for pairings, just kind of scrolling through. And he accidentally scrolled through my name too fast. Like, oh, let's just find yours first. So we find his, and he's paired against me. So we ended up actually playing in round 9 of day 1. We were both 7-1 at that point, and as he will tell you, I kind of luck-sacked my way into a victory there.
Dude, what? You also beat Jacob Wilson? Like wasn't he like that? Like that super young, successful Canadian?
Yeah,
He's from Canada, and he also played Canadian Threshold. So, damn, holy shit! Like, why? Like, like the first GP I went 0-3 drop clean, like 0-6 in games. I didn't do anything. Like I was done after 2 hours, and like you casually beat like all the pros. Holy damn! Like who needs buys anyways? Good job.
But then I got so nervous because I had done so well in day 1 that I basically didn't sleep that night, despite trying to go to bed early. Got maybe 2 hours of sleep, and bombed pretty hard on day 2. So
Damn. So what GP? so which GP was that?
This was GP SeaTac, Seattle Tacoma. In 2015.
Oh wait! Oh wow! I was there too. I was there too. That was the first time for me to go to the States. No, what do
you think?
I didn't go to Seattle. I only stayed in Tacoma, and it kind of sucked.
That's fair.
I didn't day 2 though. I see, like I had buys and I didn't day 2, and you had no buys. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna hate myself. Okay, anyway, it was kind of all I remember from this GP was that I was in the feature match in round 2, and I was playing Storm, and I got paired against this super young guy on like a weird blue-white control deck, but he didn't have a dual lands but shock lands instead, and it was kind of messy. Like he didn't really know how to play against Storm, and like the games were not really that interesting, but I think you can still look it up on YouTube. And
sounds like fun,
dude. And then like I think and I got kicked by this but it's this girl. She was playing like she had like red hair, red clothes, red deck box, red sleeves, red playmat, red everything, right? And then like and I was on the play, and I was like, okay, well, Underground Sea, go. And then obviously she goes like turn 1, slam that mountain into Goblin Guide. It's like, yeah, dude. And long story short, she finished me off in like 10 minutes with like just like back-to-back Eidolons in both games.
Some people tell you exactly who they are, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, dude, it doesn't. They don't even try.
The second Grand Prix I played in was GP Vegas in 2017.
Yeah.
And I was playing the Bant like Leovold True Name deck, the Bant Deathblade or whatever they call it. There's like 7 mana dorks, Stoneforge Mystic, Leovold True Name Nemesis, just the greediest deck known to mankind.
Right.
And again, I didn't have buys, and I was feeling pretty good about the deck. I was doing really well with it on Magic Online. And so I sit down, and my first opponent was very young, and visibly nervous and had a red deck box and red playmat and won the die roll and opened up turn 1 Goblin Guide and I didn't have a chance. So I was 0-1 in that GP.
Holy shit.
And then I because the deck was broken, I rallied pretty well, but you know.
Right.
Sometimes they tell you exactly who they are, but it does not make a difference.
Yeah. I mean, and then sometimes people can get you, right? Like, I remember like one of my friends back in the day, like he was playing goblins at like local legacy tournaments, like even at locals. And what he did is like he put his deck box next to it, and then some entreaty angel tokens on top. It's like, dude, I mean, dude, we are here at a local game store, you know. And you can you can do that at a GP and it'll be kind of like, you know, whatever, but like. Anyway, it's good times. Damn, I wish we could have those Grand Prix back. It was good times. Like 2015, like was also like for me personally, it was the year where I played the most Grand Prix. It was because the GP Seattle was the third GP for me that year. I played GP Kyoto half a year before earlier, and GP Lille. And it was a good year for Storm, I gotta say. Yeah, like 4th place and 17th place was like I was running hard with those Dark Rituals. But deck didn't because I think what happened before GP Seattle is that Dig Through Time got banned in Legacy, and then like Legacy was kind of like all over the place, right? And
so Seattle was let's see, Dig Through Time was banned, and I think there's actually a story at some point about someone who there was a Dig Through Times in their opponent's deck, and they found it and had to call him out. Yeah.
Oh damn. Okay.
Because they didn't know. It was pretty short. So Shardless Bug had made a big resurgence in that GP.
Oh yeah, and also like Patrick Chapin. I think he played also a crazy deck. He played a 4-color like everything but red. And he played Painful Truths. And
Painful Truths and Mentor, yeah.
Mentor, yeah. That was a deck too.
That was the breakout deck from the GP. Eric Froelich was also like testing with that team and had a sideboard of 3 or 4 Monastery Mentors in his Ant deck.
Oh wow. Damn. I mean, I don't know if that man. Like I gotta say that I was never a big fan of Monastery Mentor in Storm. Just because it's white and you can't cast it off Dark Ritual and things like that. But like, I mean, once it hits the table, you can do a lot of crazy stuff later on. So definitely,
you can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, holy shit. Okay, so damn. So
speaking of Storm,
yeah,
let's pop into your first true or false.
Wait, so how many of those of your statements did I get right? So I got only one. No.
So you were right. You were right on the first one. You correctly called it true.
Okay.
You were right on the second one. You correctly called it false, and then I tricked you on the third one because you thought.
Wait. So no, I said that you never. I said that you never played Death and Taxes, and you said you did. So I didn't get the second one.
Oh, you're right. Yep.
Okay.
So one for 3.
Okay, so I'm terrible at guessing. Thank you so much. All right. Okay. Holy shit, I should definitely get better at this. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of happy that at least I got one, maybe. I don't know, better than nothing. Okay,
they're good lies.
Okay, let's move over to the 3 statements about this weirdo Kai Savatari. So I'm gonna read them out really quickly. Like as Kai once registered a Storm deck with 3 polluted deltas, 1 flooded strand at a Legacy GP. Kai once had a date with a girl who ended up being a guy, and Kai likes whiskey. Okay, those are the 3 statements. We're gonna kick things off with the first one. So Kai once registered a Storm deck with 3 polluted deltas and 1 flooded strand at the Legacy GP. And for everyone who doesn't know what that means is that Storm is a blue-black base deck, okay? So you play basic Island and basic Swamp. These are the only 2 basics you play in Storm. And so 4 deltas are kind of like auto included. But yeah, what do you think about that?
So hypothetically, there could be a situation where, say, someone was really into their foil cards of a particular language, and say they only had 3 foil polluted deltas, and they couldn't get their hand on a 4th one at the event, and they would just have to make do with this foil flooded strand that they had.
Just stop.
And just I guess that could be the. Yeah, I know the story. That's true.
Damn it! Fucking damn it, dude. Okay, well, you know, there you go. Okay, so back in the day, I did have a different last name. I used my German last name, which is Thiele, not Savatari. I got changed like a couple of weeks later. But here's the top 8 deck list from Grand Prix Kyoto 2015. And you see Forgetactive Pro, Ponder, blah blah blah, Preordains, Tutor, Tendrils, and then the mana base, Island Swamp, 2 Underground Sea, 1 Tropical Island, 1 Volcanic, 1 Bayou, and then 4 Misty Rain Forest, 3 Polluted Delta, and 1 Flooded Strand. And notably, that Flooded Strand couldn't get Bayou, and it also couldn't get Swamp. Oh my gosh, that was so bad. I can't, like, and I remember, like, when I entered this GP, like, I felt so confident in having like a full foil out deck. And it's like, you know, I mean, there's no way people are gonna, you know, I mean, this is probably not gonna matter at all, because like, who, you know, deck list, you know, you gotta make that top 8, right? And I had an incredible run on both day 1 and day 2, like 8-1 on day 1 and 5-1 in day 2, and just, you know, deck like slam dunked on so many opponents. Also, I gotta say that Delver didn't play Wastelands back in the day, because Dictator Time was legal, and the most played Delver deck was Grixis with Monastery's 5th Sphere, no Deathrite Shaman, Thought Scours, and things like that. So yeah, I kind of got away with this. It is just like, and like, people ask me after the GP, like, what about those 3 deltas and 1 Flooded Strand? And like, and I could have said, hey, yeah, you know, I'm a dumb idiot, and, you know, I prefer foils instead. But like, what I did is I started to argue against it, and I was like, yeah, you know, I mean, there are costs like surgical extraction, and people could maybe surgically extract your deltas, so, you know, you better have like a backup fetch. And people were listening. Like, people were, wow, yeah, this kid's really smart. I mean, he top 8 at the GP, so that's probably, I'm gonna do it myself. And like, so the next couple of weeks, every once in a while, you saw a Northern Tendrils deck list in Tokyo with 3 polluted deltas. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, like, what have I done? You know, it was just bad. And like, I was lying to those people, and it was just bad.
And they'll never trust you again.
And they'll trust me again. I mean, yes. Oh gosh, yeah, it was a crazy story from back in the day. Damn, okay. So let's move on to the second one. Kai once had a date with a girl who ended up being a guy.
I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with this is true, because I can't imagine... I think this is a harder thing to make up than it is to pull from reality.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It was not my intention at all. But interesting, like, this story, it also happened the same year as GP Kyoto. So like, you know, so it was I was into foils and things like that, and I installed like one of those like free dating apps. I was 23, I didn't know what I was doing, and if I installed one of those dating apps for the first time in Japan, and you know, like the ones where you can swipe left and right, and I had a match with this beautiful girl who had a somewhat like weird well, like clothing style, like fashion style, because that person was really into like Lolita things. I don't know if Lolita rings a bell here. Lolita.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, let me quickly bring it up. Like things like, yeah, like Lolita.
We're gonna get banned from Twitch if you click on images here.
Oh shit. Okay. Anyway, like, you know, like those like super cute outfits. I was like, okay, well, I mean, whatever, you know. Let's meet up at a bar, and like, cause like all on all photos, like part of the neck was kind of like covered, and like the hands, and you know, part of the face too. And like I now I don't even remember like why you liked that person. I was like, because I didn't really see much of her face. I was like, oh, you know, it's just give it a shot. And so we met up at this bar, and then she took off her like gloves, and I was like, wow, these are really like manly hands. I'm like, all right, okay, well. And like the voice was all like kind of deep, and I started to feel really uncomfortable. And basically the end of the story is that I went something like, yeah, dude, I gotta go to the supermarket and get stuff for tomorrow really quickly. And that's how we ended that date in the bar. It was kind of it was one of the most uncomfortable dates I've ever had in Japan so far. So yeah, it happened. And that person was also a Magic player, but I've never, yeah, but not for Legacy. I think like Standard or something else. Never saw that person ever again. But yeah, it happened. So, dude, it was yeah, something else. Anyway, it's happened. So, all right, let's go off the last statement. Kai likes whiskey.
Well, given how you reacted when I said I was a bourbon fan, kind of had an astonished reaction there. Instead of delving into specific kinds, which I think a whiskey drinker would have asked follow-up questions. I think false. You do not like whiskey.
Dude, am I a terrible liar? Maybe like people tell me I'm so bad at lying. Yes, I hate whiskey, but I mean, yeah, I don't hate it, but I kind of dislike it because like, so when I moved here to Japan is like, when you go to like Japanese supermarkets, you have this huge selection on whiskeys, because how Japanese drink whiskey is that they usually mix it with soda or like some yeah, usually like soda and ice only. And I don't know, like I tried it for the first time. It kind of threw me off. I also had a lot of bad hangovers based on whiskeys, and like how often we went to those like all you can drink whiskey bars, and like I don't think that whiskey is a drink you should go like all in, and
no,
like
it's not.
all you can drink.
It's not.
So maybe I've been treating whiskey like the wrong way. Maybe it's supposed to be like some, yeah, like, you know, so some different animal, but like I had those whiskey, like I sipped them like as they were regular beers, so that was probably like a big mistake. Yeah.
In my experience, if you get too drunk off of a particular hard alcohol, for the next 7 years, you're not gonna like it. So like I say, you like get too drunk so you get sick off of like, and just that one, you're just like tasting it coming back.
Right.
7 years is the threshold to where you can start drinking it again. Hey, Barbara, what's up? So yeah, for me that was rum. I got way too drunk off of rum in college, and
oh, interesting.
There was a 7 year window where even now I can drink rum, but it's like, not my alcohol of choice.
I mean, do you go like pure rum? Like, did you go like back in the day? Did you go like pure rum, or did you go like, I don't know, like rum coke, or like some other like rum based cocktail?
This particular story, I had I drank an entire bottle straight from the bottle. So.
Okay, yeah, sure, and you know, and I brushed my teeth with whiskey, so I mean.
So that was a pretty big mistake as far as.
Good deal.
I mean, you know, to be young and dumb.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Learning.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like nowadays, I'm a gin person. For a couple of years, like I love those gin. Like gin is something I would happily pay a lot of money for. With a lot, I mean, like, you know, I wouldn't go too crazy, but like I've had like reasonable gins here and there, and like I love them. I'm like a lemon person, you know, like everything that's like goes like into like sours and things like that. I definitely dig. So
Nice.
Yeah, maybe maybe you can ask me the same question about whiskey maybe like in 20 years again, and I'll probably change my mind until then.
I'll make sure to follow. I'll follow up with you. I'll make a note.
So you,
okay.
So damn, so you got all 3 rights. Okay, well that's a clear 3. Yeah, 3-1. All right, okay, got defeated.
Keeping up on my hot streak.
Dude, and so we also got tons and tons of listener questions. And yeah, do we wanna dive into them?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
It sounds like fun.
Sick. So how I did it last time with Dukes on Twitch is that you're gonna read out the first question, and then I am gonna give my answer first, and then you answer second, and then we do it like reversed for the next question, and so on and so forth. And
sounds good.
Yeah, so we got a question from Hey Yeah No podcast question. How did you learn to play Magic, and what was the first deck you ever played? Max.
Okay, so I learned to play Magic twice in my life. The first time I learned to play Magic, I was 8 years old, and in elementary school, and playing very casually with friends, where we had a slow mode and a fast mode, where the slow mode was kind of by the rules, and the fast mode, you started with 8 cards, and each player could make 2 land drops per turn. So it was very casual, and
nice. I dig it.
My favorite deck at the time, I had this counter burn deck, and I remember I was so happy when I got Airtight Wizard Adept as like just kind of my haymaker in the deck, of just being able to counter spells for free just by tapping it. So it was very, very casual way back. And then I had stopped playing. My my collection got stolen by I guess I'm going to use the word lightly here, friend.
Mm-hmm.
So I had stopped playing from that, and then in college I played competitive StarCraft 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so someone on the team was I was like, "Hey, where are you going?" He was like heading out after our practice session. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go play a Magic draft." And I was like, "That sounds like fun. Mind if I come along?" And it was an Innistrad pre-release, and Innistrad was just a really, really good set.
Oh yeah.
So I just I completely bombed that pre-release, trying to get back into the game. I remembered the basic rules, and he was explaining them to me on the subway ride to the card shop. But from there, I basically got hooked. We played, the StarCraft team started basically doing Magic drafts after practice, and we added in some like Magic players as well who we knew. And from there, I was really deep into Innistrad Limited, and slowly kind of made my way into Standard with Blue White Delver. And so the first constructed deck I ever played, kind of the medium of, I didn't want to buy Blue White Delver at the time, and there was this like mono green infect deck.
Ooh, okay.
And it was just basically a very like stompy cheap deck. It was $40 to buy, and that was the first deck I like bought to play competitively.
I mean, Monoforests? Question mark?
Yeah, I mean, it played that. There was a land that gave Exalted as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know.
So
Damn.
it was a very cheap deck, and it used like Phyrexian spells to like protect your things and just kind of pump through.
Okay.
So that was fun.
Yeah, but that was like a couple of years later, right? Like, because like New Phyrexia was released a couple of years after Innistrad, correct?
New Phyrexia was actually right before Innistrad.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, yeah, memories, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, it was right
Sick.
around that time, and then I kind of forayed my way into a Standard there. The deck I always wanted to build but never did. I had a casual deck that was a Rug Splinterfright deck. So it's playing like Faithless Looting, Birds of Paradise, Splinterfright, which is that Innistrad card. You can use your overlay real quick and pull it up for people. And
yeah, sure.
I'm not sure they'll know it offhand. Oops. But it's a Star that with Trample, 3 mana, 2 and a green. And at beginning of your upkeep, you mill 2 cards from the top of your library into your graveyard.
What's it called again?
And Splinter Fright. So the deck was basically based around this card and a lot of like aggressive.
This fella here?
Yeah, that guy. And so you just basically aggressively milled your deck with like Scobs and Faithless Lootings and all of this. And then the plan then was to cast Postmortem Lunge, which is a Phyrexian reanimation spell, X and a Phyrexian black mana, to reanimate a card from your graveyard. And I did that on Kessig Cagebreakers, which was again an Innistrad card, which is a 5 mana 3/4. So yeah, gains haste. So
oh wow, interesting.
Pay 5 and then check out this guy, Kessig Cagebreakers. It was a 5 mana 3/4, and when it attacks, you put a number of 2/2 wolves tapped and attacking equal to the number of creatures in your graveyard.
Oh, this guy here?
The third one over, yeah. So.
Oh wow! Holy shit!
So basically, the idea is aggressively mill yourself.
Yeah.
You Postmortem Lunge, a Kessig Cagebreakers, and attack with a ton of damage, and you had giant Splinter Frights as well. So that was a really fun casual deck that I built kind of in my between stuff. The sad thing is it never stood a chance against Delver because Mana Leak existed.
I mean, obviously, yeah, but like, I mean, this is almost as complicated as those storm guys casting like a bunch of rituals and tutor into empty the warrants. You know, you kind of get the same deal out of it, except you
basically
have a lot of tutus. Yeah, sick. Wow. Like every time someone tells me like a story like that, I'm like, you know, it blows my mind how many little like combos and things you can do in Magic. That is, I've never seen any of the 3 cards in my life, and I played all those sets. Like I was there. I never stopped. I just never. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I want to hear more of these stories. That's insane. Real cool. So that okay.
Time for your story. How did you learn to play? What was the first deck you played?
I started to play Magic when I was 10. And basically, I was in the school, you know, this music school, and I got some swamps and zombies and skeleton cards, like super evil looking cards from like older students that didn't need them, and they were almost about to throw them in the trash, in the trash, and I was like, hey, no, let me pick them up. Back in the day, I didn't know that it was a game. I thought it's like stickers, you know, like something you can only collect, and then like half a year or a year later, I saw people actually like playing games with them, and it's like, oh wow, like that's kind of cool. I want to do that. And by then I had like I want to say like 30-40 card stack. That's all I had, but it was like only 2 or 3 swamps, and the rest were all spells. Because that's what I got, and I was like, wow, those like swamps, they're probably gonna be like super valuable, right? Like, I mean, like, and then I started trading with some other students. Like, you know, I can give you 10 zombies, like 10 whatever, like, you know, cards. Give me that swamp. Oh, I also take up planes, even though it doesn't cast any of my spells. And like, so I ended up with a kind of like a mishmash, unplayable pile of Magic cards. And we also had this rule where if you run out of cards, if you have 0 cards in hand, you can draw a fresh 7, just, you know, just casually, just, you know, so that everyone has something going. Yeah, so my first deck was 5-color unplayable zombie dot deck pile when I was 10.
I like it. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Dukes on Twitch is asking how much time was given to the idea of the max min block. There you go.
Yeah, so I think he's joking about the order of the name here. So I'll first say that actually kind of answering both questions at once. Min max blog, like the reason that Min and I actually started the website, or like at least 75% of it, was because we liked the name. We're like, this is really funny because, you know, min-max is a gaming concept of optimization and all of that, and our names were Min and Max. It's like, and we both wanted to kind of make content and have a place to post some videos. We kind of had a lot to say, both of us, and they were kind of things that were against the grain of thinking at the time. I remember like one of the articles I really wanted to get off my chest in the very beginning was people were talking about like a cohesive deck being like this empirical good. Like it needs to be cohesive to be good. The reason why Jeskai Delver was bad is because it's not a cohesive deck. You're playing Swords to Plowshares in your Delver deck. You're gaining life while you're attacking them with Delver. It's bad. And I had a lot to get off my chest that way because I think that is fundamentally wrong. What makes the deck good is that it has good matchups against what you expect to face. And that's basically it. I think that's the sole heuristic of what makes a deck good is if you're going to beat what you run into. And so like Jeskai Delver had a fast clock against combo and could beat creatures way bigger than it due to having white removal. So you were just like small Stoneblade deck and the fair decks, and you were a Delver deck against combo with like white hate, which is like Meddling Mage, Aethersworn Canonist, and Rest in Peace. And it doesn't matter that like your plows were gaining life while your Delvers were attacking, because if your opponent doesn't have creatures, you're going to win. And if your opponent, like if they're at 3 and you have a Delver and they played a Tarmogoyf, then you don't have to cast the Swords to Plowshares.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
You cast it. Yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
Lightning Bolt wasn't going to work there either because, doesn't kill a Tarmogoyf. So, anyway, I had like a lot to get off my chest in the beginning, and Min did too. And so, especially like with Miracles, and he was really deep into that and talking about Miracles deck construction kind of in the post-Sensitive Divining Top world. And so then we basically came up with the name of the site. Min built it. Min did all the hard work here.
Okay.
I just kind of post articles, and then so that's how Min Max blog came to be. And as far as Max Min blog, it doesn't roll off the tongue, and Min's the more important contributor.
Awesome. By the way, Julian, you're totally right. I didn't have any removal spells, and yeah, I could only win if my opponent didn't have anything on the field. It's kind of funny. Damn, but that's cool. Okay, and you guys also do like direct challenges to or
yeah, we do. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Min's been actually we've both been pretty busy these days. We're trying to find time to do another one, but yeah, kind of like what you did with Brian Koval the other day.
Oh, sick.
Lower stakes. We call them like min-max battles, and we basically just go head to head with a swath of decks. We've played like different formats. We did like a Hearthstone kind of format where you ban a deck when you lose and stuff like that to see how that goes.
Oh, nice.
We tried just kind of like variety of like play this deck, play this deck, play this deck, just to kind of try to get matchup variety. So we're trying all sorts of different formats, and that it's kind of as a fun thing to showcase what Legacy has to offer, but also kind of try to like flex our ranges. Like I like playing Doomsday, then playing Fair Blue, and then playing a Chalice deck, and like being like proficient at all of them and stuff like that. So
right, yeah, nice content, really. Like especially because like if you go like wider and like try out new decks, it might reach like a bigger audience too. So that's cool. Awesome. Yeah.
So on day one of Modern Horizons 2 release, I put out a Steel Stompy video with Thought Monitor and Urza Saga, and this is the first day that Modern Horizons 2 was on Magic Online, so I paid way too much money for those Urza Sagas. But my god, I just like played this deck, and it was just Urza Saga was just an absolutely broken Magic card, and it was like Thought Monitor was great too, but my god, just like realizing how good Urza Saga was at that point.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, and also like when you talked about Delver and Swords to Plowshares, I mean, you're literally doing the same in Legacy right now, right? With your Jeskai deck. Except that you have Ragavan and Swords to Plowshares, and like it doesn't really matter. Like I think people back in the day they didn't really think about card advantage maybe, or like value all that much. They were more thinking about, hey, that I want to go like in this direction specifically. Like if I have an aggressive deck, I don't care about card advantage. I just kind of want to push damage as much as possible. So maybe there was like a different like mindset.
Absolutely was. It was about creating works of art. Decks were supposed to be pretty, and like you could see a deck and know it. You could like summarize your game plan in one sentence, and if you couldn't do that, then it was a bad deck.
Right. Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, and like I gotta say, like in 2021, especially, like some deck lists, they don't look pretty. I mean, they do well, but I don't know, like some of them look kind of a little like wishy-washy, and yeah, like you don't really get what's going on sometimes, and maybe that's exactly what I mean. What you mean with like, you know, like explaining the deck in one sentence. Like some decks they can't even do that. Because like all over the place. Like try to explain, for example, a Strifle pile in like one sentence. I mean, it doesn't work, right? Like you gotta need like a full paragraph.
I think the meme explanation is when you +1 on deck fate and discard Punishing Fire, and then tap Grove of the Burn Willows to bring Punishing Fire back to your head and heart advantage. So that's I think that's the meme explanation of Strifle pile. But you're absolutely right. The way that the deck plays is just kind of you play cards and you line them up against your opponents, and you just keep on doing that until they lose.
Yeah, kind of. All right, let's jump to the next listener question. You want to read it out? Yeah.
Penman says, "Is the state of Legacy healthy? And when will Kai visit Germany?"
So, okay, so this topic is man, you can talk for hours about the state of Legacy, and let's do like a kind of like a quick version, okay?
Let's
just our personal input on this topic. I would say the state of Legacy is healthy. It's not like 100% healthy, but I feel like it's like 70% healthy. We've been in worse spots before. It is fine. The only reason why people would maybe say that Legacy is not healthy is because of Ragavan, and I'll also start to now understand why people don't like Ragavan in Legacy, and why people like Ragavan in Vintage, for example, because people like Legacy players don't like random losses or random wins. Like Legacy players, they kind of wanna have the games under control, and they wanna have like similar games as often as possible, and go like, you know, this is a 60-40 matchup, and you know I'm supposed to win like 60% of them. And Ragavan, what it does is like it kind of messes up with those percentages, because like you have a couple of like non-games where like, you know, someone loses even though that person didn't make any wrong decision. And you see that more often in Vintage, where, you know, people rip their Ancestral Recalls and then into Tinker, and they go completely nuts. And like, and people, Vintage people, they go like, yeah, I mean, that's Vintage, you know, that happens. You know, I had a force, but it was not enough. Like, things like that. And Legacy players are not willing to accept that kind of loss, maybe. That is probably what I think is the main issue of Ragavan in Legacy, is that it's not that the card is super consistent. Like, it is a broken but inconsistent card. Like in some matchups it doesn't do anything, in some games it does everything, and maybe that huge gap between black and white is maybe what makes people think that Legacy is in an unhealthy spot.
Yeah, it's a very, I think that you're right. Legacy is a very, as far as emotion, like you'd say Vintage is a more emotional format, and Legacy was more of like a stoic, like cerebral format. Not to say Vintage, like this isn't taking away the skill to play Vintage well, and I don't mean it that way at all. But I mean, when you're playing Vintage, you're riding the high of like, you know, going with playing your Mishra's Workshops, having your absolutely broken openings, generating infinite mana on turn one, drawing your whole deck with Paradoxical Outcome. You're doing these awesome things, just like things that there's no way that when they were building, like designing Magic, that wasn't supposed to be the case. That wasn't supposed to happen. But you're doing them, and it's crazy. You're doing crazy stuff with Dredge and all of that. And you're right, these highs and lows of Vintage, you learned it. It's like kind of shrug them off. Like, oh yeah, my opponent, you know, hit me with Ragavan and found my discard spell and hit my other good spell, and they had opened with a Ragavan, and then I opened with a Ragavan, and then they opened like Forest, Nettle Sentinel or Allosaurus Shepherd, and I never had a chance because I couldn't even daze it. And what am I supposed to do? This Ragavan's completely useless now. And like those like highs and lows are something that legacy players aren't used to. So I think you're right. If you look at the showcase, the finals was Death and Taxes versus Lands. Ragavan decks some of them did well, but that was more based off of the sheer quantity of players who played them. So yeah, small segment. I'll wrap it up quickly, but I think you're right. State of Legacy is different, and I think that if players are willing to adjust, it could be good. But I also could understand that players just might get frustrated getting randomly blown out by a Ragavan, or having their own Ragavan fall completely useless for the umpteenth time at some point.
Okay. So if you would give Legacy like a percentage, like a healthy percentage, I would go with like 70%. What's your take?
I'd say 75%.
75%.
I'd say if it drops below 60, it would need a ban.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of, you start failing, you need a ban.
Okay.
I'd say it's at 75%.
Sweet. Okay, and just in comparison, so how was the State of Legacy when Oko and Alchemist were around?
Probably around 60%.
Okay.
I'd say Run in 6 was like 50-55. Run in 6 was an absolutely broken Magic card.
Oh yeah, I would give it a 10. Okay. Anyway, so let's move over to also when will Kai visit Germany? So I didn't make a huge announcement yet, but I'll be visiting Germany in 3 weeks. Actually, like in a month, I will be there. I'll be staying in Germany for almost a whole month. But this time, I'm not gonna go to Berlin. I'm gonna stay in South Germany. I'm gonna do like a little trip, and maybe I'm also like looking for some events. I haven't looked up all the events just yet, but maybe it's worth taking a deck with me, Legacy or Old School, Vintage or whatever. So let's see what's open. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then go to the next question. This one is from Jeff Lynn. How did you choose your showcase qualifier deck? Max?
That's for you. That's well, I mean, I think I answered. I didn't play in the last showcase, but a couple ones ago, I guess in 2020, time flies. But yeah, I qualified with Doomsday, and I love playing Doomsday, and I figured that I'd much rather do so-so with Doomsday than do so-so with any other deck. Like, I could have a fun day and, not top 8 with Doomsday, while if I played a different deck that wasn't Doomsday and it also didn't do great, I'd be really frustrated with myself and wonder, hey, what could I do if I had played Doomsday instead? And so that's why I chose to play Doomsday when I played the Showcase qualifier.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, for me at the last showcase qualifier, like I qualified for Doomsday too, and the day, I think like 3 or 4 hours before the event, I just quickly mashed together a blue-red Delver deck, ran into a league, went 3-2, hated myself, and I picked up Doomsday again. So there's that. And I faced 5 different decks in that showcase qualifier. Like I play against Band, Death and Taxes, Lands, Blue-Red Delver, and Sneak and Show. So it was good. Also, Julian, I don't have a card this time, so I don't know if I can go to Munich. We gotta see. I'm gonna be staying in Freiburg, which is a little closer to the France border, for probably about 2-3 weeks or so. And my girlfriend and I, we're gonna move to Heidelberg, where my sister lives, a little later then. Okay. Ooh, wow. Speaking of Julian, the next question is from the master himself.
So, yeah, I'll read it off.
Okay.
So Julian's asking, I guess to me, if Kai, if you and I got into a bar fight in Tokyo, how long would I last? And I think the answer is, if it's like you versus me,
yeah,
I wouldn't stand a chance. And secondly, I'd probably just let you hit me, because if I pissed you off enough to where I think you want to hit me, I probably deserve it. So
I mean,
that's I think that's I forfeit.
I mean, we gotta be honest, right? Like, if you hit me, then the Japanese president's gonna know, and then you're probably gonna get banned from Japan for lifetime. So
yeah, it's true. Yeah, I guess I'd be more afraid of the the law than anything else at that point.
Right, yeah, because I gotta just give him like a casual call, go, hey, like President, it happened, it happened. I'm only gonna say it happened, and then he's gonna be okay, all right, okay, it's
Get him out of here.
That being said, like I've personally never been into a bar fight yet. But I've watched a couple of bar fights because like everyone kind of likes watching bar fights for some reason, But I don't know. Did you do any like I don't know, like karate or like any of that stuff back in the day when you were like a kid?
When I was a kid, I did Aikido.
Ooh, okay.
But I mean, not like I didn't go very far with it. But there's more just kind of a build self-confidence, build discipline sort of thing. Yeah, as far as bar fights go, I'm not much of a fighter, and I usually try to make jokes to make situations a little bit calmer.
Okay, Julian, you know what? In 20 years, okay? In 20 years, when I'm really into whiskey, things might change, okay? we might have those later. Sick. All right, okay. Marcus Ewald is asking, tell us about some of your most memorable decks, matches, plays. I miss legacy coverage. Ooh, yeah. So, like, coverage, I love those stories, especially like the stories Cedric Phillip keeps like, something like all the time, like in the downtime, that he has a lot of, because like he was a big player back in the day, and whenever he's doing like coverage, like, he tells all those like kind of funny stories from like back in the day when he played like Pro Tours during Ravnica and like Darksteel and Mirrored and Block and things like that. But this is also a somewhat long question. Maybe we can keep it a little short because this is maybe we can pick one each. What?
Let's talk about a favorite play that we've made.
Okay.
You first.
Okay. So I'm gonna skip the most memorable play because I covered that on Dukes with Dukes the last time.
Okay.
I was talking about the it was like a day 2 and it was against Canadian Threshold, and he had lethal on board and I had almost no hours. I had a partner, I shuffled, and I needed to hit a super dark ritual, but like which I didn't have in the deck, and then I ripped my one of Reign of Filth, which I totally forgot about, and it won me the game. That was kind of insane.
Yeah.
It was also like one of the last matches during that round. So we had like, I don't know, like almost like 30-40 people, because we were sitting on table number 2 or 3 or so. It was a crazy game 3. Almost got killed by Nimble Mongoose. Almost. So that was my most memorable play. You can definitely watch that on the last podcast with Dukes. The most memorable deck is probably Ad Nauseam Tendrils with Days. That is like for the longest time, people have always associated my name with Ad Nauseam Tendrils featuring a 3-1 split with Days, 3 in the main and 1 in the sideboard, and it's kind of like been my go-to deck for many years, and people started to also call my deck SDS. Sawatari Days Storm. I didn't even come up with that name, like people started going like, oh yeah, so what you playing? Oh yeah, you're playing SDS again? And I said, what the hell is the SDS? And some people like, oh yeah, I mean your deck. Oh cool, I didn't know. I was just kind of awkward, but yeah. So I would maybe I should give the deck another try. Basically, the reason for Days and Storm was that you have outs in game 1 to things like Thalia and Chalice of the Void. That was at least the main idea.
Right. I remember you were saying if your plan is to kind of win on turn 2 or 3, then the idea is that you just basically daze the turn 2 Haymaker.
Right, and then win. Yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't matter what it is. You don't have to spend time discarding it. You can use your mana to sculpt your hand and then daze it and then go off.
Exactly.
And that made a lot of sense.
There were also, dude, I could go on and on with Days and Storm because it did a lot of crazy things, like saving your Underground Sea from a wasteland, and imprinting it to my Chromox to make it like a Mox Sapphire, and then things like that. It was, or like casting I also cast an Ad Nauseam in response to a Sphere of Resistance, and then it also flipped Days, and at Days, it was good things happened.
Yeah.
Right. So tell me about your most memorable Dex matches plays.
So probably so I have 2 pet decks. Probably one of them is Steel Stompy, which I kind of just love the artifacts. But the other deck that I really enjoy playing is Jeskai Delver. It was my first Legacy deck back in 2012, before True Name got printed. It was playing Geist of St. Traft.
Oh, nice.
And I borrowed the deck from a friend and played like a 60-something person, I guess it was a 1K at the time, but the first prize was 2 Underground Seas, the second prize was 2 Volcanic Islands, and kind of so on and so forth going down. And I split the finals of that event and got a Volk and a UC, and then traded off the Underground Sea into like a couple Tundras, and from there I basically started to cobble together. I sold my standard and modern collection,
nice.
bought Jeskai Delver, and so that's kind of my most memorable deck. It's like the deck that got me into Legacy, and my favorite play from that just has to be stifling the Geist of St. Traft's Angel trigger when it leaves the battlefield, because you just you convert your Stifle into a 4/4 Angel, and that was it's not the world's fanciest play or anything like that, but it was just this avenue of attack that deck had that I loved so much. It was just so much fun to do.
Right? I mean, people play paid 1 blue mana for a 3/2 flyer, and you paid a blue mana for a 4/4 flyer.
Exactly. Yep. And then especially because if you price survives and you have the next turn, you have 2 angels coming in, and it's probably over.
Yeah. I mean, screw those people who even try to entreat the angel. You can do it on the cheap.
Yeah. Treat my own angels.
That's insane. Holy shit. Okay. You got a question? You want to read it out? Yeah.
Yeah. So Jarvis asked, if we went to any restaurant in Tokyo, what would we want to eat and order, and why? So since you're, you live in Tokyo, why don't you go first?
So I do have my go-to places in Tokyo. Now, I use I have a couple of preferences. I do have my absolute go-to sushi place, and I gotta tell you, it takes a while till you find your sushi place, because all the sushi places are, first of all, they're all above average, right? We're not talking California rolls or any of that nonsense. We're talking actual good sushi. And then once you have enough of them, you kind of understand the different types of sushi, and for example, how good is the fish, how good is the rice, for example, how soft is the rice, for example, because every time it's a little different, things like that. And I had the best sushi I had was in Fukuoka, which is a lot in the south. It's on Kyushu, on the South Island, and it's generally a little better than in Tokyo, because Tokyo gets all the good stuff from Hokkaido from the north and Fukuoka from the south. And so yeah, and in Tokyo, my go-to sushi place is only a 5-minute walk from here. It's this old dude, who's been doing it for many years, and I go there. I am also at a point where I can say, the usual plate, please, and he knows what that means.
Nice.
And then there are also ramen places. Do you know what ramen is?
Oh yeah, I love ramen.
Oh sweet. Okay, awesome, cool.
Had ramen for lunch today.
Oh nice. Good preparation for the podcast. Yeah. Nice.
Hakata ramen. Yeah, there's a really good Hakata ramen place near my house. So.
Oh nice.
Picked it up.
Okay. One thing that is probably different in Japanese ramen restaurants in comparison to all other ramen restaurants around the world is that in Japan, most of the time you get additional noodles for free. If you because most people go straight noodles, right? And then you have all the soup left, and it's okay, well, you're gonna do something about it. And in most places you get additional noodles on top later. You just ask for it, and then it's kind of cool.
It's this place, they give you extra noodles, you just have to pay for them.
No, you don't.
$1 more.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Same sort of deal, but you can't ask them to do it.
Nice. So I definitely do have my my go-to restaurants after our GP though. Every single time after day one at a GP in Japan, I always went to those izakayas, and this is something which keeps popping up. Izakayas are basically bar slash restaurants. So it is a place where you can just, you know, just go all in. Like they have all you can drinks for like 2 hours, for example, for only like $15 or so, and you can just get hammered. But at the same time, you also have a lot of decent food and a huge variety of like, you know, like sushi and also like just little, I don't know, like small Japanese dishes. Nothing too big or crazy, but like I think like what's so important for the Japanese cuisine is that it is usually a lot of different things on the table, and you can pick whatever you want, and people like that. So izakayas are absolute like bonkers. I wish there would be more izakayas in other countries, because that is such a good concept.
Kind of like a Japanese tapas.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it, really. Like a tapas bar kind of thing, right? Like you can order like small dishes, and you know you have I don't know, like about like between like 50 and 100 different beverages you can drink and things like that. So like if you come here to Japan for a GP, or like it doesn't have to be a GP, like we should definitely hit one of those izakayas, because you got izakayas literally everywhere. Like
sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. So
I went to Japan in 2017, and we stayed in Tokyo for about 5 days. And so while I was there, I mean, the sushi in Japan is phenomenal, you know, obviously. We never managed to get out early to that giant fish market. We intended to, the one that, you know, you want to go at 5 a.m. and stuff like that. We tried to, but didn't. But we went to, you know, some other sushi places that looked we kind of were judging by the crowd.
Oh, nice.
How popular, you know, seeing the place looked lively, and a lot of people were happy about it and be like, oh, let's try this place. So we got some great sushi that way. But one of the things I really remember as far as restaurants go in Tokyo was there was a katsu restaurant on the second on the second floor of some building. I remember this was like a small restaurant. It was impossible to find. It wasn't even that crowded, but we did kind of go at an off hour, and it was just so well done. It was just like, it was like katsu is especially like in the States, it can get very heavy very fast. Just kind of just sits poorly. It's like feels like I'm almost like deep fried, like, but this one was just like light, and it was tasted just phenomenal, and I want to go back there.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I was like, noobs go at 5 a.m. Julian, you're not wrong. 3 a.m. is a good time. I think the last time I went to the this big fish market, it must have been also like between 2 or 3 a.m., but not the day before, actually. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but like, maybe like, did you also think that there are not many bad places in Japan? Like I feel like there are not a lot of places where the food is actually bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think in a lot of big cities, you, as a restaurant, if you're bad, you're not going to stay there for very long. Like it filters out the bad restaurants, because the rent is so expensive that you have to be good enough that people keep coming back to you, right? Which means that you have to be good or like decent at the bare minimum. So you're not going to like really miss at least a decent restaurant for the most place.
Okay.
In big cities.
So if you could pick one Japanese dish, what would it be? Like your, is
sushi too broad, or is like one kind of sushi?
No. Like sushi is fine. Like I just wanted to. Okay, good. All right. Okay, same. Easy. Okay, but
I have to like pick a piece.
Yeah, but never try to mix it with IPA. That it won't work. That's good time. That's good sake time. Yeah.
Yes.
So the next question is by Lee. Oh, I hope I don't butcher your name. I think I have done it so many times already. It's Lee Hung, and then
Nguyen.
Nguyen. Okay.
Yeah, Nguyen. Yeah, it's very hard to do exactly right if you don't speak Vietnamese, but yeah.
Okay. Well,
so he asks, what's his question?
It's the funniest moment in your history of playing Magic. the funniest moment. Yeah, it's I have a couple of examples, but you go first.
Yeah, go for it. No, you go for it.
Okay, well, it was, so I was watching, that was a GP Lille 2015. I was watching one of my friends who was first kind of bad at Magic, and B also like he had a terrible hangover. It was on the second day, I think. I was around between matches, and I walked over and he was playing Dredge against his also like kind of like goofy looking opponent, and his and it was game 2 or 3 probably. And it's like, okay, both people kept, and then my buddy, he goes, okay, turn 1, City of Brass, Cobalt Therapy, you, and your opponent goes like, yeah, I mean, you know, sure, name, and then my buddy, he goes like, Leyline of the Void, and his opponent, he went, oh man, you got me, and you know, he discussed like 2 Leyline of the Voids.
But he didn't. Yeah, I mean, why would you put them in play?
Yeah,
Gives it all away.
He just didn't, like, first of all, how the hell do you not put your Leylons on the field on the field first? And B, how do you ever name Leyland of the Void with Cabal Therapy? That was so fucked up on both sides. It was so like I just couldn't, you know. I was there, like I was completely speechless. Like what the actual hell just happened? And like, and his opponent, like the Leyline guy, like he was like, damn man, you got me, you know, like 2 copies, good job, kind of thing, you know. It's like, holy shit. That was so funny. Holy shit. Yeah, I remember that for sure.
That's amazing.
Holy shit. Yeah, do you got a story?
Yeah, I do. My funniest one was the funniest one that I've played was I was playing against there's another player in my local lit scene also named Max, and so he's evil Max of the two of us. He was playing a Dark Ritual decks well before I did.
Oh, nice.
And so this was back in Top Miracles days. He was playing Doomsday Fetchland Tendrils.
Oh, nice.
And
okay.
I was playing Predict Miracles, and he probes me, sees my hand, does I don't have any counter magic, and he basically, you know, goes for Dark Red Doomsday, starts building this pile. He's really tanking really hard on the pile. I think I have I don't remember exactly the interactions but I had in there, but I had a Pyroblast that he was trying to play around.
Okay.
So anyway, he goes for it, and then so he builds his Doomsday pile, then he Cabal Therapy his Pyroblast. And I go, oh, well, this is no good. And then he probes me again, and I revealed my hand, and it was like Predict and no longer Pyroblast, something else, and he was trying to draw his top card, and then because that was, so he had stacked it, so it was like probe, or I guess therapy, or Ideas Unbound, something with Ideas Unbound, and then like his last 3 were LED tendrils. And so he stacks it such that he basically, with his Ideas Unbound, he had 3 more cards in library, or 4 cards in library, and I just predict him. And then he ends up drawing LED tendrils all together. And he knew this was going to happen.
Ooh.
But yeah, I was, we just both were cracking up for a really long time at that. He was like, wait, I knew you had that. And I'm like, just
let it happen. Let it happen.
Yeah, that's probably the funniest moment we had. We were just cracking up about that for a long time.
Like I like when people. Oh no, go ahead.
So recently, actually, right when we got back to paper, we were playing again at the local shop, and it's hard to play paper after not playing paper for 18 months, and we were just making mistakes. Just like I was playing Doomsday this time, and he was playing a Fair Blue deck. And he ends up actually, he's playing like a Fair Natural Order deck just for fun. Like, you know, those old like Fair decks that, you know, Natural Order and Progenitus or whatever. So his post board, and he was playing Archon of Valor's Reach, and pulls it out and names Sorcery. And I was playing Doomsday, so obviously that's pretty close to game over. But I was also playing Uro Doomsday, so it wasn't quite game over. So I kept going. And then I was like playing, and he cast the Ponder. I'm like, you can't do that. And he's like, oh, you're right. And then some time go by, and I'm like, I can't play Doomsday or whatever. I'm just cast Uro. I'm like, better check to make sure there's no removal in play. And I just go Thoughtseize, and he's like, can't. And they just keep on like just kind of constantly cheating at each other. Just playing all these sorceries with this Archon in play.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
really hard to enforce the rules when you're not used to it.
Wait, did you win that game?
We scrapped that game.
You scrapped that game. Okay, well,
We both,
fair enough.
we were like both like, you know what, this is not a good. Let's start over.
Yeah, this game never existed. So okay, yeah, can we start from scratch?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's yeah. I mean, there was like a lot of like funny moments. I think like back in the day when we played a lot of casual Magic, because like we didn't know a lot of like, I think back in the day we made a lot of like funny mistakes, and like nowadays they're called punts maybe. But yeah, a lot of cool memories, definitely. We have one more listener question from Kobe1 Kenobi.
Yeah, it's Jacob Corey.
Oh, is that is that Jacob Corey?
Yeah, it's Jacob Corey.
Oh, sick. Oh wait, your round 9 opponent from GPC Tag. Oh, all right.
Great friend and former opponent.
Nice. I've only seen him on Star City game coverage, but like every time I see him, like he's obviously like, I don't know, like 7-2 or like 5-0 or like
he's incredibly good.
I just don't know what was his go-to deck. Did he have a go-to deck?
He's probably best known for putting Tin Fins on the map.
Oh, Tin Fins, huh? A combo person.
Yeah, I mean, he plays. I think his philosophy is that fun in Magic is zero sum. So between him and his opponent, and he wants to have all of it.
Oh wait, he's also co-founder of Everyday Eternal?
Yeah,
really?
he did. He also co-founded Everyday Eternal.
I didn't know that. Oh wow, when did that happen? Probably like, I don't know, a billion years ago, right?
Yeah, he's approximately 1 billion years old.
Oh wow.
His questions. Do you want to start? He has 2. Do you want to start the first question?
Sure. Let's go. What is the best fair deck in Legacy with the highest ceiling? And what makes? Okay. Let's go with that question first.
Yeah, let's do it.
So what do you think, Max?
I think the best fair deck in Legacy with the highest ceiling is the Jeskai Ragavan Saga decks. I think that I mean, every card in it, if you look at it, it's the Broken Modern Horizons 2 cards. It's your best cantrips from years past, and Legacy Dual Lands. I mean, it's the highest card quality you get. You can go tall with Murktide Regent. You can go just like kind of fast between Dragon's Rage Channeler, which I guess people are calling Darcy these days, and Ragavan. And then also you can just like put a whole army on the board without ever casting a spell with Urza Saga. So, and that's on top of just having the best removal in the game and the best counter magic. Like, it just does it all. And I think that if you just learn the matchup profiles and kind of build your deck to beat the field, I don't think you can go wrong. What do you think?
I tend to agree. I'm wondering, like, is there like even a single thing Jeskai can't do? I wonder. Because I mean, they have almost everything covered now.
Right, because the artifacts provide graveyard hate. So.
Right.
I mean, like game 1, yeah, but as far as it's pretty much a no weaknesses deck. It's bad against Blood Moon.
Oh sure, dude. I mean, I gotta say, like, I haven't seen Blood Moon in weeks. Like, not a single one.
I mean, the only time as I've faced Blood Moon once with this deck, and I let it resolve despite having a Force of Will, because I had a Ragavan and I could just make treasures.
Oh no! Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a crazy deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd probably also pick Jeskai for that question. Like, in terms of like best fair deck in Legacy. But also like maybe there's like probably another complete different question about like what does fair even mean in Legacy, because like some of the plays Jeskai provides are not fair at all. So the word fair is a little, like I would almost call Ad Nauseam Tendrils a fair deck now, because like everything like it doesn't do anything broken anymore. Like in comparison, like to what's available in Legacy. So.
Yeah, as far as power level goes, I think you're absolutely right. But I think the designation of fair and unfair wasn't traditionally like a power level distinction, but more of like, are you playing Magic the way that it was intended to be played? You're essentially adding 1 mana per turn. You're casting spells with your mana. Your goal is to reduce your opponent's life total to 0 via attacking.
Right.
Like, I mean, with control, like with the Planeswalker Ultimate, like that would be a fair deck. It's kind of like playing Magic as the rules of the game were intended, while unfair is like, I'm going to put a 7/7 flying lifelinker into play on turn 1. Like, regardless of how actually powerful that is with respect to the format, it's like there aren't 1 mana 7/7 flying lifelinkers for a reason. And so, like, that's the idea there. Or, I'm going to cast 10 spells in a turn and drain you out. I'm going to make a 5-card library, draw through it, and cast a creature that wins the game when you have no cards in library. Like, those are fundamentally unfair things. And even while, like, Goblin Lackey putting Muxus into play and creating a billion goblins and winning out of nowhere feels kind of unfair when you're on the receiving end of it. You're attacking with creatures, you're connecting, you're doing probably Lackey is the most unfair thing that Goblins does, so this wasn't a great example, but it's still like a fair deck in the sense of like creatures and mana and attacking.
Okay, so you're basically telling me that I should probably kick Tendrils of Agony out of my deck and only play Empty the Warrens in my Storm deck, and then you can call me a fair person.
Yes, then you're
okay.
fair deck. Exactly.
Now got it. Okay, and you probably also want me to attack with Thassa's Oracle at least like once or twice before I drop the other copy and then, actually win the game that way. Okay.
Well, I love attacking with Thassa's Oracle. It's so much fun. It just sends such a message.
Dude, I'm so happy that Thassa's Oracle has actually power. Like, I mean, I would still play the card if it was a 0/1, but like, given that it is a 1/3, it can. I had games in the past where I had to play Thassa out to save my life from like a attacking Thalia, and like Oracle was so good at blocking Thalia.
Oh yeah.
Dude, yeah, people were scared.
Yeah, it's nice also because if you have an Oracle in play, you kind of have this like standstill of they don't want it to die, because if it dies, you can cast Doomsday and cast it again.
Really? Yeah, definitely.
So in Esper Doomsday, I was doing that a lot. Like, just had Oracle in play against decks that didn't have Source of Plowshares because they didn't want to kill it. So it was just kind of this like Stonewall blocker, like functionally infinite toughness.
Nice.
But then I would just like put Teferi in my pile and bounce it.
Yeah. Oh, sick. Oh, sick. Yeah. Holy shit. That's cool.
So that was.
We also got a question on the fly in the chat. Like, what is the most fun Nickfit variant?
Ooh, I know this one.
Scapeshift? I don't know.
I think Rector Fit.
Oh yeah. It's broken Planeswalkers, enchantments.
Yeah, there's two different ones: Arena Rector and
Academy Rector.
Academy Rector, yep. Academy Rector gets enchantments. Arena Rector gets planeswalkers.
I mean, what is the most ridiculous planeswalker you can cheat into play?
Ugin.
Nicol Bolas?
Probably Ugin.
Tybalt?
Tybalt, yes. 2 mana Tybalt.
2 mana Tybalt.
Yes, 2 mana Tybalt.
Yeah, that's the final answer. So okay, there you go. 2 mana Tybalt. Jeez. And I swear, I've seen people who wanted to try, who wanted to make the 2 mana Tybalt a thing in Legacy when it came out. I don't even know the set. Like, when did even Tybalt came out? Like, when is it? Was it?
Avacyn Restored.
Oh shit! Yeah, damn. It's been a while. It's been a while.
Some pretty high impact cards in that set, and Tybalt was not one of them.
Yeah, I mean, people were looking at people were looking at like Terminus and Treaty Angels, and like all this kind of like broken stuff. Gristlebrand also, like, and then there are people who are like, yeah, I guess that's all cool, but there's also the like super sweet 2 mana Planeswalker which doesn't do anything. So maybe, yeah, just screw Gristlebrand. Maybe you want to focus on that 2 mana Planeswalker instead. It's a 2 mana Planeswalker. It has to be busted. It was the first one though, right?
It was the first one. They were trying really carefully to make sure that they didn't make a busted 2 mana Planeswalker, and they succeeded on that one.
Right.
And then second 2 mana Planeswalker was Jace Vryn's Prodigy. It's the 2 mana creature that flips into a walker.
Right.
And that card was one of the best cards in Standard when it was being played. It was an $80 card for Standard.
Yeah. Yep.
And I mean, even saw up till very recently saw Vintage play. Like it's a great card. And then obviously Renin 6 was a decent Magic card.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
oh yeah. The cheapest the cheapest Planeswalker is Kithian though, right? Like
Kithian is the flip,
Kithian is literally, you know what? Give Magic maybe like a 2 or 3 years, and then we'll probably print a 0-mana Planeswalker at some point. So we're gonna see about that. Also, we kind of had a 0-mana Planeswalker for a short time period when Cascade into Tybalt into Valky was a thing. That was literally a 0-mana Planeswalker. So
I keep on forgetting about, like, I played that deck. Everyone like played. It was a crazy 2 weeks.
It was weird. It was weird. There was also oh man, did I ever tell you that it must have been the show, it was the first Legacy Showcase challenge I top 8'd with Doomsday, but it was also because Doomsday was the only deck which had a good matchup against Valky Tybalt, because first of all, you have a lot of counter magic, and like I had even Spell Pierce in my sideboard to deal with Tybalt, but also your main game plan was fast enough so that they couldn't recover.
Right.
It was good. It's good. And Mox Jace, yeah, we hopefully we never gonna see that again, or like not again, but like never ever. But the second part of the question is from Kobe is, what makes for the best tournament experience inside and outside the game?
A great question.
Ooh. The best tournament experience. So we're not talking about like winning and losing kind of experience. It is more like the best, like overall tournament experience, right? Like when you go to an event, to like an event like a GP or like Eternal Weekend or something like that.
Yeah.
The inside and outside of the game. Yes.
So I'd say for outside the game, I think that the best tournament experience is easily accessible water, easily accessible and clean bathrooms, and easily accessible and decent food. Like those are the things I care about outside the game. Easy good water, easy good bathrooms, easy good food. And like if those things I can hit those during the day at the venue, I'm probably happy. If I can't hit any, if one of those is missing, I'm probably not going to have a good time.
I mean, have you ever been to a GP where there was a decent bathroom?
No.
Okay, so you never had a good experience then.
I mean, it could be better. I want those to be. If those are all like good, if those are like terrible, I'm gonna have a really bad time. But you know, those are the wants.
Right.
And then inside the game, I'd say that the thing that would makes for the best tournament experience is an opponent who's happy to be there. Yeah. Like opponents who are just like they sit down in a huff and they're just like cranky the whole time. You draw opening hands and they're already upset that you have 7 cards. Like that's just like
why didn't you take a mulligan? Like take a mulligan already.
I feel like honestly, like when I'm playing against those players, I intellectually I feel like I've already won because I know they've already beaten themselves. But as far as like the actual play, I don't have fun with that. I'd much rather lose against someone who's happy to be there than like beat someone who's just gonna be just this like grumpy spoil sport the entire time.
Like imagine you even run like 4 copies of a serum powder and you keep 7. Your opponent goes, yeah, of course you keep 7. Fucking like, you know. Oh man, Julian, love it. Yeah. So speaking of food, because like I mean so when I went to the GP Seattle, I remember that the food, if there was any food at all, the food was not really good. No, like wasn't like all jank food? Like
yeah, there was a decent like I remember like this kind of like strip area with a ton of food, like restaurants, like kind of back to back, like maybe like solid food, like near the college, like a few minutes away, 15 minutes away, but nothing like close to the GP, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So if I could make one suggestion for all tournament organizers out there, is that I would, and I've never seen this, because like all I've seen on like regarding food is like pizza, like like a slice of pizza here and there, and like fries and like a burger maybe, and like maybe like a bad kebab sandwich. In Japan, it basically Japanese junk food, blah blah blah. I would love to have like a solid fruit / salad bar. I mean, it sounds off, but like all I want for a Magic tournament, like a GP, is like I want to have as many vitamins as possible and as many like protein bars as possible, and a little bit of sugar also. But like I don't know. I remember that the one time I went to a Japanese to an American GP, must have been GP Las Vegas 2016-17 or so, and like I saw like a guy who's playing in the main event, and he got a pizza delivered to his seat, and like he was kind of like half playing the game, half eating pizza, and like, I mean, it must have been like a side event or so. Like I didn't really keep attention on that, but like it was so messed up, and like I don't know.
That feels bad. I would feel so uncomfortable in that situation playing against that person.
And then like imagine like being his opponent, and it's like, yeah, could you shuffle my deck? Actually, could you not shuffle my deck? Kind of deal. But yeah, I think like generally, like I used to take all the fruits from my hotel room, or like from the like the morning buffet, just taking with me, and like like I have a couple of snacks between rounds. But like having non-junk food in a Magic tournament would probably be like my biggest wish for future events.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And what else? I mean, and like after day one, I prefer to have as many decent bars around the venue as possible, which is not always that easy, because like how those these event halls are located, they're usually like in the middle of nowhere, usually, right?
Yeah, convention centers are usually in an area where property values are kind of cheap.
Yeah. So. I think the worst experience I've ever had at a GP, it was probably in GP Birmingham, because that was in the UK, and UK has like the worst food of. I mean, it's probably like already known by now of having like the worst food possible, but like, dude, I don't think I've ever been this stoked about Subway sandwiches in my life. I was like, wow, that's funny. Like, and because I remember like after day 1 or 2, like I was killing those sandwiches, and I was like, wow, that's actually decent food. I think I said that to someone. I never said it again about Subway sandwiches, but like, damn, this to give you an idea of how bad regular food is in the UK.
that sets it up.
Oh my god, are you into TGI Fridays? That's good. I mean, or isn't it? Like TGI Fridays?
TGI Fridays here is like it's essentially like it's like reheat, like microwaved food, more or less.
Oh, okay. Well then, screw it.
Yeah. At least here in the US, it's like that. I don't know if they do that globally or not.
Did I ever tell you that there's a TGI Fridays, but also Taco Bell in Tokyo? I only like in 2-3 places, but it's actually decent food. It also costs almost like double in comparison to the States. But like all my American friends when like, yeah, Taco Bell sucks in the States, but it's so good in Japan. I mean, it's like double the size, it's double the price, half the size, but it tastes like 4 times as good. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, I guess I take that.
Yeah, I take that every time. I remember I went to a McDonald's in Tokyo. At some point my wife and I we were walking, like kind of going out to, I guess, find somewhere to eat. And then it started raining really, really heavily out of nowhere, and we needed to find somewhere to eat fast.
You picked McDonald's? Oh my god.
Well, it was coming down hard, and we were not prepared. And so we jumped into a McDonald's for that meal, and we were surprised at how good it was.
Did you try that teriyaki burger? Did you try that out?
I actually don't remember what I got. I just remember I was like, this is way better than McDonald's in the States.
So I think one main difference between McDonald's in Japan and McDonald's like literally in any other country is that the burgers, like I've never seen a cheeseburger which actually looks like a cheeseburger until I came to Japan. like I unwrapped it and I was like, oh, this actually looks almost like on the poster. That's insane because I've never seen that before. Like every time you get a cheeseburger in like any other McDonald's, it's usually like a piece of crap, really. Like it
looks sad, right?
It looks I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's rough.
Whenever I open this up, something that is probably like, oh wow, like one employee probably had a real bad day, and it's like, wow, like a lot of employees, like I think employees always have bad days at McDonald's because they all look so
do.
so shitty. But yeah,
I think they do.
Just to sum up the question about tournament experience inside and outside the game, it is like outside the game, I'm with you. Food and drinks, like having easy access to a lot of water and just like decent food, I want to say, like between rounds, is key. One thing I would like to have more often is also like more better structure in the sense of pairings, for example. So like online pairings only. I really like, one thing which kind of scared the hell out of me was the pairings at GP Las Vegas, because like all of a sudden, I don't know, like 3,000-4,000 people move at the same time, and then like in Japan it is still okay because like people are kind of small, but like in America you have those American sized people, and you have like, you know, you get rolled over, right? Like I mean, I'm kind of like a tall guy in Japan. Like I'm like 1.8 meters, which is definitely above average, but like I felt like a nobody in comparison to those like big giant, like
I'm also 1.8 meters.
Yeah, bone crush giants. Yeah.
I'm 5'11", which translates to 1.8 meters.
Oh, sick. Yeah. See, but like you know, even you and I, like we don't have an easy time. Like
and I have like a thin frame, so yeah, it's
right.
I can get crushed by your stereotypical American. Which is also why I avoid bar fights.
Oh, okay. And about tournament experience inside the game, I like all opponents who usually start with some sort of like small talk. I love that. Like something like not forced, but like, you know, like you sit down and like your opponent, he just. It's not about like gaining information, but it's they can even talk about, I don't know, like the pizza they had 5 minutes ago, like literally anything. But like I like when people start with like some sort of like a random conversation before they start shuffling. And what I don't like at all are opponents who don't have eye contact, who because there are players who don't even look at you, like they kind of look at, I don't know, like the opponent next to you, or like whoever, or like only at the table, or like their deck or so. And whenever this happens, like I feel like, whoa, like am I playing against a robot kind of thing? Maybe it happens sometimes in Japan, but it's maybe also like based on how shy some people are here. So
my experience playing against Japanese players has always been very positive. Like, for not speaking a word of Japanese, even when they don't speak any English, communication has not been an issue at all. Just like making it like super clear on like the brainstorms, like very neatly putting back 2 cards. They just like set them, and just like everything of like pointing to cards for triggers and all of that, and just like verbal acknowledgements. Like you don't need to really understand each other, like know, like an acknowledgement of like clearly past the turn. Against Japanese players, I've had some of my best experiences with random opponents.
Okay, sick. Yeah. I mean, this is also like a thing I keep saying like over and over again, but like you don't have to speak any Japanese to play. Like there's so many people are like have like concerns when they come to like a legacy GB, for example, in Japan. Like I mean, you know, I can play my deck, I just don't know how to act while I'm there, and like just don't even worry about it, and then people stop worrying about it because it literally doesn't matter. There've been a couple of issues when I played at my first Japanese GP. That was Kyoto, by the way, because my Japanese was kind of rusty and I didn't know. I could speak Japanese, but my MTG like vocabulary in Japanese was kind of limited. So we had a lot of judge calls in day 1 and day 2 about them Cabal therapies. Both my Cabal therapies and my opponent's Cabal therapies. Because like I think Grixis Delver used to run the full set of Cabal therapies in Gitaxian Probe with Young Pyromancer. And they called the cards in Japanese, and I just didn't understand, you know, and they said like whatever, and then I showed them my hand, and I was like, okay, so and then I was kind of like waiting for their facial expression or like something, or like I was waiting for them to pick the card, like pointing at the cards, but like some of my opponents, they were too polite, they didn't even pick anything, and so I said, oh wow, so I guess you missed, and then, you know, I picked up my hand, and I was like, no, I actually had like 2 copies, and I was like, oh okay, so which card was it, you know, that kind of deal.
Right. Yeah.
It was kind of awkward. And also, a fun little story about the actual top 8 was the quarter mod at the quarterfinals, because once you top 8 at GP, you have access to your opponent's deck list, and they were back in the day, they were like all handwritten. I think, yeah, they were definitely handwritten, and I wrote down my deck list in English, and my opponent wrote his deck in Japanese. So I couldn't read his deck because my Japanese was not good enough, and my opponent couldn't read my deck list because of my bad handwriting. Okay, so like the two of us, we were like sitting there, and like all the other quarterfinals have already started, right? And we were like sitting there like, hey, dude, I don't get it. Like the only cards I could read were like Underground Sea, Volcanic Island, because these were like written out in alphabetic letters, but like everything else I was like, dude, I can't, you know. My opponent, he didn't even say anything, but I could see in his face that he was like, what the hell does that even mean, you know? And then the judge came over. I said, like, you know, it's probably gonna take like another hour or 2, and then like the judge consulted the head judge, who then came over and is like, you know, why don't you guys just exchange your decks, you know, just take a look at them and, you know, write down whatever. And so it's like, so we took so we exchanged decks, we noted everything, you know, how many bolts, how many fork bolts, how many blah blah blah, and we started our quarterfinals match, I want to say like 10-15 minutes after everyone else has started their match, and we finished first.
That's really funny.
It was weird, and like none of the information mattered. Really, because like both games were over on turn 2, and yeah, it's
a good way to do it.
It just
ended well for you.
It just didn't matter after all. But it was also embarrassing because it was in this feature match area for the top 8, and there were a lot of people watching us, right? So like I had to tell in front of like a lot of like those people who were watching. It was like, yeah, sorry, I can't read this. And then my opponent's like, yeah, my opponent has like a terrible handwriting, so I can't read it either. And it's like, and like and like it is a GP, so you had to like you can't whisper, right? You have to actually like raise your voice and say that to the head judge, and I feel like everyone was listening to it, and it's like, yeah, well, you know, I mean, at that point I think everyone knew that I was more German than Japanese. I mean, at least back in the day. Like now my Japanese is way better, and I probably can read almost any deck list by now, but like it was definitely weird times.
Yeah. Julian asked, speaking of that, the most German vibe I get from you, and I think it's your deck choices. I feel like the way you build decks is very German as opposed to Japanese.
Ooh, what? Why do you think so?
You're basically just like you're kind of like just optimize, like you're kind of like looking at it just to like brute power optimize for your wins, like your day's storm, for example. Like you're basically just coming in, you're like, I don't care what you're gonna do, I'm just gonna daze you and kill you. And that's you're not trying to cover cover this base this way, this base this way, this base this way. It's very like straightforward, powerful.
Interesting, yeah. Because I would have almost said the opposite. But just in terms,
yourself a lot better.
No, I mean, but just in terms of trying out unusual cards for a certain archetype. Like in Japanese tournaments, every single time you see cards you've never seen before in your life. Like, just a couple of examples. For example, there was in 2015 there was a 300 player tournament in Yokohama, and in the top 8 there was a Bug Delver deck with the card Drop Dead. No, Drop Down. No, Drop Dead Drop. Dead Drop. Is that card Dead?
It's the Delve one, right? The Delve sacrifice one?
It is this card here. That Drop it's a 10 mana card with Delve. Target player sacrifices 2 creatures. And this was, I think, a 2-off in that Bug Delver sideboard. And like everyone lost their minds about this card, right? Like what the actual hell, like, and things like that. And like what I like about Japanese in general is that they usually don't go too hard on net decking. Like they kind of try out like unusual card choices. And like Dead Drop, I saw this Bug Delver opponent cast Dead Drop against double True Name Nemesis. I actually saw that. So I was like, that was the biggest like blowout card ever. His opponent obviously didn't see it coming, and it's crazy. Like things like that, right? And like Days in Storm, you might like it's also goes like into like the same category of like, hey, why would you even consider a counter in Storm, right? Like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, especially in the main. And it is all about those like, or like also like the same thing about maybe like Uro and Doomsday, maybe like, because Uro technically doesn't have anything in common with Doomsday, the card Doomsday, but like things like that. And also like also what I really like is Marcus Ewald's new approach of like the Esper, like Stormforge Mystic thing, with Doomsday, like just like trying out cards that usually don't go well together. So yeah, like I kind of like these like innovative parts, and I see them more often in Japan in comparison to Germany. I feel like in Germany you have more like stock builds, but Germans are really like they kind of think like in a very like logic way, like they want everything to make sense, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's actually I was completely wrong. Yeah, you're right.
Maybe I don't know. It's just like my gut feeling, but like also like every time I'm in Germany I feel very Japanese, and every time I'm in Japan I feel very German. So there's that.
Funny.
So yeah, damn. Did we cover all the questions? Holy shit.
We did, yeah.
Damn. Okay. So we've been talking for almost for 2 hours and 15 minutes already. It's been a blast. What are your plans for today? Anyway.
My kids just woke up from their naps, so gonna see what they're doing. Maybe there's a neighborhood pool that we might go to. It's
nice.
It's a nice sunny day, so
real nice.
We're gonna keep probably take a dip in the pool.
Nice.
And then look at dinner. How are you look? I guess for you're just starting your day, right? It's like what's
dude, it's
7:30 a.m.
Yeah, it's 7:40 p.m. Yeah,
7:45 a.m. Yeah.
We hit
bright and early.
We had 33 degrees Celsius.
Ooh, it's hot.
Yeah, dude, it's killing me. But I think I'm gonna hit the beach today later, like in a couple of hours. Yeah. We have like a beach, like like only like a 1 hour train ride. Super nice.
Very nice.
I think I'm gonna do that, and maybe hit the gym before. Let's see about that. So, and also make some breakfast. I'm kind of starving. So, man, yeah. Max, it was good. It was good time. Really, thank you so much.
I can't wait until we can hang out in person one of these days.
Oh,
this
dude,
was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we gotta.
Thanks everyone for joining and asking great questions.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, chat. Thank you for everyone. Again, it was Maxtortion. You can check out his homepage and also his Twitter, right? And yeah, hopefully talk to you soon. And everyone have a good day.
Bye.
So, see you. All right, and.
Thanks so much, Kai. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, both the kids woke up. Oh.